happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Say we got another huge update. I know you guys could probably already tell it is going down just by that title alone. Today we're seeing what looks to be like Fox News The 5 host Jessica Tarlov's last day on the set of Fox News The 5. Guys, it seems like she is just too far gone. She is in denial in this newest update as the other host accused Kamala Harris of being caught red-handed copying and pasting Biden's policies. Guys, I'm excited to get into this update, so we're not straight into it. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we get into it, you guys hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button before you get away. And without further ado, let's hop straight in, guys.
All right, Greg.
Yes.
She cannot campaign on policies to fix the border or to fight inflation or any of these other issues without tying herself to Joe Biden and what she's done for the past 3.5 years. So does she throw him under the bus?
Well, first of all, it's good to see he's going to his granddaughter's birthday. We know which granddaughter it isn't. I think this is verging on pathological. Like, she's treating the campaign for becoming leader of the free world the way I treated a final in college for a class that I never went to. You know, she doesn't do the work. She hasn't done the work. She's had 7 weeks. And then she copies the homework off someone else. Right? Makes no sense. If you could buy Cliff Notes for becoming president, she would buy it and still not read it.
Yeah.
I think the key word
It's
here,
bad.
and I think it's anxiety. I think it's reflected in her continuous indecision. When you look at you talk about immigration, being the border czar, nothing came of that. Almost everything she's done, nothing happens. And I do think that she's incapable of making decisions, which is a huge mistake, a huge problem when you're electing a president as somebody who can't make up their mind. I think that's why there's no there, and they've had to replace decisions with vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, that's really my next question, Dana. She's had nearly 2 months, to prove to the American people, show the voters who she really is. And instead, she chose to hide, and she chose to promote vibes instead of staking out positions. And yet she calls Donald Trump an unserious candidate.
Yeah, it's interesting because she is the vice president of the United States. She is the second in line to lead the country if something happens. So you would have thought that she would have a little bit more, especially since the decline of Joe Biden was very obvious, especially to her. She apparently had lunch with him every Wednesday. And you wonder if that will come up tonight. One of the things polling shows is that most people believe that she did know that there was a serious mental decline, but they weren't ready for that. But in the CNN interview, the one interview she did, she was not willing to really distance herself from Biden. She wasn't willing to kick him to the curb, throw him under the bus, whatever the analogy is. So I think that her team would like to see her do that. And I think that Joe Biden knows that his legacy really rests on if she wins, right? Because if she doesn't, then he'll be blamed even more than she will be. So I think that Biden might have told her today, do what you need to do. And if you need to distance yourself from me or say I did something wrong, it will be okay. That would be the gentlemanly thing to do if they really want to win.
But Trump's definitely got to hit her on the
decline.
No, on the cover up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be there.
Yeah.
And that's a good point Greg brought up, man. I really do wish, and that was my takeaway from the debate. I was like, Donald Trump never got a chance to hit on. I mean, it was just from the jump, he was getting ganged up on. It was a 3v1, really a 4v1 with the earpiece in the head. I mean, he didn't have a chance to hit on a lot of points that I feel like would have, been the nail in the coffin for her campaign, guys. The cover-up being one of the biggest nails, I feel like, would have just held her accountable. But he did, in the last statement, closing arguments, kind of hit home with the whole, she's been in office for the last 3.5 years. She's done absolutely nothing, So that's the only point that I wish he would have hit on in the debate. I feel like that would have been the icing on the cake for that whole situation.
Klein.
No, on the cover up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be there.
Yeah.
And well, if she does lose, though, Dana, they might just blame Nancy and Barack for taking Joe and then just throwing her out there. There's going to be a
They're going to
huge
blame
problem.
Joe Biden because she should have told him not to run back in January of 2020.
And it's going to be fun to watch the Democrats blame each other.
Yes, how fun.
All right. In spite of the fact that she's revealed very little, almost half of the voters think that she is too liberal. She is liberal and she's progressive. I mean, how tough is it going to be for her to convince people tonight that she's not a liberal when it seems she's more focused on trashing Trump?
Trump has to convince people that she's a radical liberal.
It's his job.
It's his job. The comrade thing, you probably won't hear. They now say dangerously weak, dangerously liberal, failed, extremist. Those are the language that you'll hear. And at the end of the night, Trump's goal is for the entire country to know her record and to force her to defend her record because she's been lying about her past, and you can't trust people who lie about their past. She will blame everything on Biden, or she'll blame it on Trump. Afghanistan's Trump's fault. The border's Trump's fault. Inflation's Trump's fault. And everything.
And Jesse Waters showing that, now knowing what we know now about what happened in the debates, Jesse Waters wasn't too far off of who Kamala Harris and the debate moderators were trying to blame, for all the failures in our country. They were trying to put it all on Donald Trump and say that he was in charge. He was responsible for all of this. We know that is not the case. Come on, y'all.
Everything else, well, I was just a VP. I wasn't running. I was a loyal VP. And that's how she gets out of it. She doesn't represent change.
Yeah.
Because if she did, why'd she copy and paste Joe Biden's platform onto her website? She's missed status quo. Everybody will know it at the end of the night.
And
this is the same person who has the campaign slogan, "A New Way Forward," but copies and pastes the old policies of her boss, Joe. Come on, y'all. I mean, these kind of things they write themselves. You can't make this stuff up. Like Kamala Harris walks right into it.
Onto her website. She's missed status quo. Everybody will know it at the end of the night.
And the truth is that 60% of Americans want change and that only 25% of Americans think that she represents change. Then she goes, I think, like within the last 48 hours, she literally plagiarizes from Joe Biden's campaign website, and it says to re-elect Joe Biden. That got included, too. He's a plagiarist, and she's plagiarizing him. How is she an agent of change?
Wait, no way. She got caught red-handed to the point where she still had an old text from Joe's campaign. Oh my goodness. It said re-elect Joe Biden. Guys, these kind of, like I said, you cannot make these kind of things up. Kamala Harris, her team are just so bad. That goes to show you they're not qualified. They are incompetent. Like, how does that even happen?
Too. He's a plagiarist and she's plagiarizing him. How is she an agent of change?
So a couple of things. There are polls on either side of who represents change. So
Jessica Tarlov immediately, whenever they're back against the ropes, straight to the polls, guys. These phony polls. Listen to her, guys. That's the first thing she says. We refer to the polls.
Things. There are polls on either side of who represents change. So there are some polls that say that Donald Trump wins in that category. Some polls that say that she wins in that category. You can find both, suit your fancy. I don't really know if it counts as being plagiarism to take stuff from a campaign website where you were the vice president of. And she didn't lift the entire site. I understand.
Listen to her, guys. Excuse on top of excuse. Now she's saying it's not plagiarism because she served on the campaign as vice president. Guys, she ripped this up. First of all, she's been trying to distance herself as far away from Joe and his policies, all the failed policies as possible during this entire time she stepped over or taken over for Joe Biden. But now all of a sudden she's taking all of the, policies that she's deeming to be good or positive or that's going to resonate well with the voters. I mean, come on, y'all. It's either all or nothing. Either you're with the good stuff and the bad stuff or you're with nothing at all. You can't just hijack this guy's policies that, sit well with the voters. Come on, listen to this. Listen to these excuses from Jess.
From a campaign website where you were the vice president of. And she didn't lift the entire site. I understand you want to go back to the beginning of it where it did say re-elect Joe Biden. That went up a long time ago. If you look at the policy pages, it's very clear.
You hear the way she tries to dismiss it like that wasn't a big thing. It said re-elect Joe Biden on her campaign website a long time ago. Guys, that is a major hit on her campaign. It means that she is the phony that we've been calling her out to be. This is her getting caught faking it right there. Jessica Tarlov she just doesn't even acknowledge it at all. She's like, that a long time ago. Come on, hold these people's feet to the fire. I wish Judge Jeanine or Greg Gutfeld, someone speaks up. She can't just go over and gloss over this point like that. Listen.
Biden, that went up a long time ago. If you look at the policy pages, it's very clear where she picked up things that were working and that the American public like about the Biden-Harris administration. Like, they're happy with how they handled health care. They want to keep the ACA. They want to strengthen it. They want to expand Medicaid for people, things that even conservatives have been smart enough to jump on. They want to talk about protecting reproductive rights. People think that that's good, that he was doing that, a child care plan, for instance. And I took a look at Donald Trump's website, his platform. So hers, I should note.
As soon as they feel like they're against ropes, once again, the ultimate Trump card is Trump's name. Go ahead, throw Trump in there, guys. Icing on the cake every single time for the Democrats. Listen to her.
I took a look at Donald Trump's website, his platform. So hers, I should note, has drop downs for everything. So you click on it, and then you can read a couple paragraphs about how she would do it. And then they very smartly also talk about how Project 2025 would completely dismantle the way that they're going to approach it and what the outcome would be there if Donald Trump was able to win. But his site is as unspecific.
Project 25 is not
okay,
Donald
well, you
Trump.
should watch the interview with Caitlin Collins, of one of the founders of it, where he actually almost slips up and says it. Everyone at Heritage.
There they go. Slamming Donald Trump. It's him. They putting this whole thing on Project 2025. That is what they throw. As soon as they know they have nothing else to reach for, guys. She's grasping at straws right now. We're watching her just melt down. Look at Jessica Tarlov.
25 is not
okay,
Donald
well, you
Trump.
should watch the interview with Caitlin Collins, of one of the founders of it, where he actually almost slips up and says it. Everyone at Heritage is laughing at the fact that Donald Trump is trying to pawn this off as if he's not related to it. But you go on his site and you look at his he denies everything, Judge. We've talked about this. He says, seal the border and stop migrant invasion. No detail, no drop down. How are you going to do that? This might be.
Why does this need a detail or a drop down? You know what I mean? Like, come on. This is Donald Trump's already laid it out how Kamala Harris and Sleepy Joe could do it. He was threatening. We can end the debate right now. I promise. Go down there, wake up Sleepy Joe, get the border sealed up. Come on, sign it. Get the border sealed up. It's that simple. Jessica Tarlov is trying to overcomplicate things. Donald Trump has had his campaign policies or his agenda and his policies on his website for how long? Since his entire campaign kicked off. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, it took her so long to curate this, and we get it, and it's her plagiarizing Joe Biden. Like, come on, guys. These drop downs that she's providing are simple because Joe Biden, it's what Joe Biden would do to, fix these situations. It's not what Kamala Harris believes in. We can already see that. Like, cut the baloney.
Invasion. No detail, no drop down. How are you going to do that? This might be my favorite. Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. Well, that sounds nice. What does that mean? We know he doesn't.
What do you mean? What does that mean? We've seen it before. She's acting like Donald Trump is some random guy off the street saying that he's going to do this. He's on day one. He's going to do that. These are things that Donald Trump has already done before for our country, and it's proven successful. So I'm not sure why he needs a drop down, explaining how he's going to get these things done. I mean, we understand that he is more than capable and he is willing to do this for our country. On the other hand, we have someone who has been non-transparent, not forthcoming with saying that they are willing to do these things for our country. And then when she does, it's just random. It's almost unbelievable that she actually feels that way. When she's ran on no border wall for so long and now she's in favor. I mean, come on, you guys, listen to her talk. She's crazy.
Success. Well, that sounds nice. What does that mean? We know he doesn't have a plan for lowering inflation except to ask all the heads of the agencies to come together and do it. He thinks tariffs pay for childcare. He thinks tariffs pay for everything. So when you're going to ding her repeatedly for being unserious and lacking in detail, take a look at their actual platforms and see who the person who has detail is and who the person is that is completely lacking in specificity and seriousness.
I just think bringing up Project 2025.
Why?
Oh my goodness. Did you guys hear that? I'm wondering, I'm like, where is Judge Jeanine and Greg Gutfeld, maybe they've been advised by the producers not to interject or cut Jess off so much because she's getting her feelings hurt behind the scenes. But listen to how quick they jump onto this. Listen.
And specificity and seriousness.
I just think
think
bringing
that
up
Donald
Project
Trump-
2025
Yeah.
Why?
is kind of weak. I mean,
Come
it's
on, y'all.
basically a policy stack by a think tank, which has people that might have worked here and might have worked there. There are
Over
people that
100
worked at
people that work
Fox
for him.
who work at CNN. Everybody acts as though this is somehow, oh my God, do you honestly think
endorsed it
Trump
in
knew what
20
Project 2025 was? Do you honestly believe? Nobody knew what that
J.D.
was.
Vance wrote the foreword to the book of one of the founders of that project.
So
Do you think
what? What does that mean?
Well, when you say this is fantastic, what a great model for the future. Donald Trump is on tape, actually, from 2022, I think it is, talking about what a great vision it is.
But when you say, how is Donald Trump going to prove this or that? He did prove it. Gas
Really?
was $2. No,
Oh
gas
my
was $2
God.
when he was president.
Really?
Inflation
We
was.
were-
You hear her? She does not want to hear the truth, but listen to Judge Jeanine, guys. This is what I can get behind. She's going to call it exactly how she sees it. And this is the point I was bringing up, guys. We've seen Donald Trump do this before. We don't need a drop down. Listen to her, y'all. Listen. Look at Jessica.
But when you say, how is Donald Trump going to prove this or that? He did prove it. Gas
Really?
was $2. No,
Oh
gas
my
was $2
God.
when he was president.
Really?
Inflation
We
was
were
low.
united.
Every metric was up. You're saying
united
that,
as
you know,
a country
all right.
by bringing
Okay.
it to new
All right.
and record
Ahead.
levels of success.
Thanks.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. That Trump derangement syndrome is just really sad to see. You know, Jessica Tarlov has it bad. I think this is one of the worst cases I've ever seen, folks, where she just lives in a completely false reality. You know, the things that she's saying up there just does not make sense. I'm not sure if she hears herself or, you know, just her self-awareness is just not there. But come on, Jessica Tarlov. This is one of the saddest things to see, you know, someone who is just so loud and so wrong at the same time. I mean, like, come on, get out of here with it, guys. Hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. When will Fox go ahead and replace Jessica Tarlov? I feel like her time is, you know, been past. It's time for her. Go ahead, pack her bags, guys. Hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one. We go.